have plastics, if you have all the necessary things that can recycle, turn them in.
Do you know what happens to the soda or orange juice bottle after you would have used it? What about the vegetable oil bottle you threw down the nearby stream, or all those champagne or red stripe bottles you've been drinking from? In 2004, more than 19.5 million non-cola beverages in plastic bottles, excluding bottled water, were consumed each month in Jamaica. Today, some 35 million plastic bottles are on supermarket shelves in the island. The Protect the Environment Trust, PET, was established to help Jamaicans develop a habit of recycling. Meet Darcy Crooks, Executive Director of the Protect the Environment Trust. He explains the harmful effects of not disposing properly of plastic bottles.
First thing that we wanted to do was to educate people about the harmful and negative impact of plastic on the environment, on all living things. So we started educating a lot of children in a number of schools with a very powerful PowerPoint presentation which highlighted some of the devastation that we were experiencing in the world and in the Caribbean as a result of carelessly discarded plastic. Studies now reveal that every year 100,000 seabirds die from ingesting plastic. There are pictures that we show students of the carcasses of dead birds that have actually died because they ingested so much plastic, and they thought that they were full, but they had no nutrients in them, and it was just plastic which did not break down in their system. So it stayed in their system and eventually killed them. They died of starvation or just simply poison. And that is happening throughout the world in great numbers, and it's really a very sad situation. In Jamaica, it's almost a ritual where on weekends people would gather their stuff in the backyard and light a fire. But the toxic fumes that are emitted from burnt plastic is perhaps the most dangerous that we could encounter. In fact, studies have revealed that the fumes from plastic causes mental retardation in children. So not to speak of other diseases such as asthma and other pulmonary diseases. So we tell people, first of all, burning of garbage in general is no good, but worse yet, when you include plastic in it. We also show and tell people about the impact of carelessly discarded plastic when it comes to flooding. A lot of the drains in Kingston and throughout Jamaica get clogged up, and the main culprit is plastic bottles. Scientists have now determined that it will take approximately 700 years for plastic to even start breaking down in the soil. Some estimates are 10,000 years. We don't know, but it takes a long time.
So how do Jamaicans feel about recycling?
Recycling is good. The reason being, it helps to clean up the country. Because people who would recycle the bottles would normally buy bottles from people who are willing to pick them up and carry them and sell them. So that's a part of cleaning up, isn't it?
Well, recycling is good for the better part, but you have to know how to do it. You have to know how to store it, where to store it, you have to know how to separate it, and I guess a lot of Jamaicans don't know that storing paper and plastic don't go. Leaving the plastic open while storing it is very dangerous.
Well, we all know what rubbish does.
Killing them slowly. The babies with the asthma and the ringworm and all of these things.
You understand? It makes the whole entire country unclean, makes us unclean, and make the rest of the world look at us as unclean people.
Let's say we're all good and environmentally friendly Jamaicans who recycle our bottles properly. What does the recycling process entail?
This is a process, and this is how it starts. People often wonder what happens to the plastic that we recover to separate, rinse, shred. Not just plastic bottles and soft drinks and water, buckets, chairs, toys. All of these things are thrown out in Jamaica in the thousands every day. All those people who buy paints and plastic drums like these. But when the plastic is put through the machine, it is shredded in what we call flakes. This is 3/8 of an inch. These are the flakes from clear plastic soft drink bottles. These are then separated by the importer, and then the material is processed again and is converted back into pellets or resin. That material then becomes this. After that is completed, then the manufacturing of the end product takes place. This is just one of many products that are made from recycled plastic.
From Portland Point to Negril Point, recycling is a must as we tackle Jamaica's solid waste challenges.
What we're actually doing is turning trash into cash. Peter Reed. I'm the manager at the Negril Recycling Center, which is the environmental arm of the Negril Chamber of Commerce. The Negril Recycling Center started out of a need for good stewardship on the part of the business people in Negril who are members of the chamber. Stewardship in the sense that there's a lot of garbage that is generated by their trade, And as a result, they become the landfill, which was in Orange Bay, was quickly overrun, and they had to be seeking new places to get rid of their waste. However, in doing so, all they are actually doing is wreaking havoc in the environment. They are actually destroying the very fragile ecosystem that we have, and cutting down on the amount of arable land that is available for other uses.
The bottles are collected from various locations in Negril. The bottles are then sorted, separated, and washed. The white bottles are then taken to the machine to be crushed and shipped to Trinidad. The colored bottles are used to make various items and are even sold and used for creative designs.
These are pen holders for your decks, souvenir items, right?
And this over here?
These are building blocks for construction. You can use them to build your bathroom walls and create a nice ambience. These are ashtrays. We're not promoting cigarette smoking, but if you can sell that, we will sell it that way. These are glasses or vases. Right? This is a recycled number from recycled plastic. So all recycled material here.
Okay.
These are also more pen holders from other unique style bottles. Right? And this now is, what we call this now? This is like, we call this a piece of Jamaica. You're selling a piece of Jamaica here. It's a creation, but the bottles with the other broken bottles inside there, with a recycled picture behind there.
Imagine a house built totally from mud, recycled glass bottles, and more.
Burma. We do work over here like with these bricks. Put these bricks in the walls to make patterns. So like these buckles now, people would dash them away and like tilt up the place. So we use them to use in the concrete to make patterns.
Is recycling really as easy as it seems? Or are there significant challenges to achieving true success?
Our greatest challenges in the past and present is always being able to sustain the operation. Issue right now, the main drawback is that we're not fully automated. It's very labor intensive. We have quite a number of people at this facility and a couple others somewhere else sorting. We have tremendous stockpiles in 3 other locations, representing millions of bottles that would have ended up in a waste stream at Riverton.
The Negril Recycling Center also has its uphill battle in sustaining the recycling efforts.
Well, to be honest with you, we have gotten good support as it regards our environmental projects. However, from time to time, we have a challenge in terms of funding. You know, to really recycle stuff, it takes a lot of the initial cost for recycling is very high. So it takes a lot of capital upfront to do projects. But I'm glad to see that we have had some partners over the years that continue to support us. For example, the Environmental Foundation of Jamaica.
The Environmental Foundation of Jamaica has been instrumental in getting us to where we are today. They've been very supportive. Without them, as I said, this couldn't be happening.
Protect the Environment Trust for a couple of years. They are one of the few, or as far as I know, the only one doing major recycling in Kingston, in the Kingston metropolitan area. And we decided that it was an area that we wanted to see some work done in. So we worked with PET directly in terms of funding their equipment, a truck in particular, and a baler for them. We have a long history with the Negril Recycling Centre. It started many years ago, before PET and before a lot of the other work. But it had a number of setbacks, and we're happy that they're now operating again. And we are working with a number of other donors to do some continuing work on getting that centre up to a stage where it can produce from recycling products. In addition to working with PET and Negril Recycling Centre, we've been working with grantees who have been doing excellent work in the communities.
Think about the many children who are born in Jamaica with serious respiratory illnesses, asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia. The list goes on. The beautiful birds who will no longer sing because their stomachs would have been clogged by pieces of soda bottles, orange juice bottles. So what will you do to play your part in slowing down Jamaica's trash time bomb?
If we continue this degradation of our environment, what are we going to leave behind?
It's wake up. It's time to recycle. The recycling center need your support, need your help, and together we will make our positive impact on tourism.
Plastic recycling, or any type of recycling, is not only good for us, but good for generations to come. So I appeal to all Jamaicans, think not of yourself, think not what your country can do for you, but think what you can do for your country, and help us to save our country for our children's sake.
Do your part. Tackle Jamaica's solid waste problem. Recycle today, recycle for life.
I will never leave her shores.